Welcome back to another crowd control. Yes, we did miss a week, but that's because there really wasn't a whole lot going on.
And you were out of town for the World Series of Board Gaming too, so there's...
That too. Although we could have pulled it off, but the combination of me being in Las Vegas and there not being a ton of new things to talk about in crowdfunding was the reason why we went out without a week.
A lot of what's running we've talked about in the past, but now we're in October. We are in the start of the month of Halloween.
It is the Halloween season,
so
as they say.
we're getting a lot of like Halloween-themed games, kind of, some of the scarier.
We have a couple this week.
Yeah, we have two that I would consider to be Halloween-themed games that are both running right now. I'll talk about the first one, and this is the Shivers.
This is the expansion, right?
Well, this is your chance. It's actually 3 expansions. They're calling it Shivers Triple Terror. And I don't want to get these wrong. It's 3 different rooms: the Deadly Dungeon, the Ominous Observatory, and then the Fogmore Museum, where you'll see like museum stuff and skeletons. Pretty cool. Plus, they're also including a Fogmore facade, as they call it, which is a 3D pop-up of the whole mansion that the game takes place in.
There's a lot of alliteration going on.
A lot of alliteration, for sure. If you've never seen this game, this is kind of... I wouldn't say horror, because it is family friendly, but you're moving around this haunted mansion and you're going on these different scenarios, these different adventures. And the expansions do come with 3 new rooms, but a total of 12 new stories. So you're playing through these stories, and it actually has you interacting with these 3D pop-up rooms. As you move your pieces from one room to another, you can actually physically interact with the pieces that have popped up in there. And there's going to be like these sheets that can be slid behind, so the clues are going to show up differently every time you play, and it's going to kind of tell a different story. So it's a very interactive, almost like role-playing style game meant for families or just people that like Halloween-themed games, for sure.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of those types of games where it's Halloween-themed or scary or creepy, but not necessarily like macabre and dark.
Right,
and
you're not looking at gory stuff.
Yeah, not gory stuff.
The content is appropriate for all ages.
Which brings us to the next one. It's called Head Honcho. Get it? Head Haunt.
Well, they'll get it because they can see the title. If you just said it, I'm not sure that you would get it.
I want to make sure you get it. Head Honcho is another sort of Halloween-themed specters and ghosts. This is a pretty straightforward game. You've got these locations that you're trying to haunt. You've got your own little sort of character that has a favorite haunt that they're looking for. And largely what you're going to be doing on your turn is a number of different things to try to play cards next to one of the haunts so that you are the person who plays the last card in a string of these icons that you're wanting to effectively acquire or take that haunt or that haunted.
Well, and there
I think
is
they
a lot
call
of
it haunts, but they're worth points. Interesting thing is some of them are worth points and you can just take them as points. Some of them could be done that way, or you could take less points and then sort of attach it to your character to have kind of an ability or an ongoing effect.
Yeah.
There's also other things you can do to sort of manipulate, like, oh, I've got a string of icons and I'm about to finish. Well, you could play and remove something from that. Or you could like abandon what you were trying to do there. And when you play, you're playing those string of icons on one side of the board. So there's like some icons listed, and if you play on the top, you have to start at one part of that string, and on the other side, you have to start at the other part of that string. So it's, again, a nice family weight Halloween sort of game.
And I think that the icons that you're talking about are all different emotions that the spirits are feeling, and that's a pretty cool, I think, theme for that.
Yeah, and the other thing we wanted to point out about this one's a local game.
This is a husband and wife team from Indianapolis, which is where we are.
Yeah, they reached out to us on our Discord, right?
On my Discord.
On your Discord, on Ryan's Discord.
Let me know the project.
Not on the Man vs. Meeple Discord, which, by the way,
is a thing.
And you should sign up for that too.
Join it right here.
Join us.
Oh, wait, no, you do it. Now I have to put 2 graphics up. Oh, no. I don't know what to put in the second one. So those are two games that we thought were kind of thematically tied together, both very perfect for Halloween. We got 2 more we want to talk about, but before we do, another great guest today. I wanted to bring in another industry favorite. This is Chris Goodlett, the charity gamer. Does a ton of charity work. He's a great guy. Let's hear what he's looking forward to in crowdfunding.
Hey, it's Chris from Charity Boardgamer. I know you all are interested in what's going on in Kickstarter. The one Kickstarter that I am liking, it's already funded. It's still got some days left to it. and that is the modular expansion to this game right here, Merchants of Magic. This is just a cute game by Clarence Simpson. I like the fact that you're just rolling dice and you're collecting basically goods to get coins, because there's people that are coming to your shop and you're just wanting to go ahead and get the stuff. So I do like the fact that hearing about it and talking to Clarence, how the different potions now are going to actually have different effects. Also, the idea that your adventurers are going to need those items to be able to go to battle and things of that nature. So I like that there's that. And then there's also this really sweet like middle board now, which really, I love that, because it's just the idea of organization to make it a little bit less chaos, because I need that because I'm so ADHD. But yeah, check it out, and if you have not gotten this game yet, you can actually go ahead and get this alongside the expansion on the Kickstarter right now.
Thanks, Chris, and we have a couple more to talk about. These are not Halloween themed.
No.
I mean, I guess they could be if you wanted to look at them in a certain way, just like, oh,
From a
the
certain point of view.
creepy creatures. The creatures I'm talking about are the defenders of the wild.
They look cuter than they do creepy, I would say.
They're not creepy at all. This game is adorable.
Yeah.
The artwork is one of the things. Ryan pointed this one out to me. I hadn't seen it, and I have to say, the art pulled me in. Not only the art on the little creatures, but sort of just all of the graphic design and art.
Just all the presentation period looks great.
This is an interesting campaign. There's a couple things going on here. One is a board game. That's what probably we're most interested in, but they also have this sort of like rules light RPG system that's also part of the campaign. And the cover of that book is what I was talking about in terms of it really looking amazing and the graphic design and everything. But the board game is a cooperative game where you're sort of defending the wild from effectively a machinery advancement. This is the age-old sort of clash of like, wilderness, Mother Nature versus technology, if you will.
Yeah.
So there's
the age-old story.
The age-old story. There's these machines that come in. It's kind of interesting. There's these hexes that you put out randomly, and I think they're in groups of 3. Each time you play, it's very positional, because there's these mechs that start out there, and there's these machines that kind of work along the edges of the hexes. And as they move, they're building these walls that make it more complicated for you to move around the board as well. And like any sort of cooperative game, you're moving around trying to fend off that advancement. There's plenty of ways to lose, very few ways to win, if maybe just one way to win. But it's one of those games also where there's somewhat limited communication. There's going to be times where you can talk. There's going to be times where you can't talk. But everyone has a hand of cards that represent sort of your factions of these different creatures. You're going to pick one, put it face down, and then simultaneously everyone flips over. It's at that point when everyone sees what cards that have been played that you can all kind of discuss, okay, so now that we know what's going on, let's talk. And a lot of the cards have maybe a special ability, but most specifically it has a number of action points, and you can use those action points to do a number of things like move around, get rid of pollution, basically take away some of the things that you don't want, and that fight the machines. Rage against the machine. That, by the way, if you want an idea for an expansion,
that might be copyrighted.
It may be copyrighted. I mean, there may be some legal action taken of some kind.
It is a great game. I think it didn't get maybe the level of hype that some games get, but I think it well deserves it. And it's ending this week, which is why we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, it is ending right away. And if it had also kind of the game is nothing like Root, but graphically has kind of a Root vibe going on.
A Rootish vibe?
Rootish. It's quite Rootish.
It does. I can see that with the little character minis and the way the game kind of looks. Like, if somebody told you this was set in that universe, it would be believable.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Nothing like Root.
It does
not
look gameplay-wise
thematically kind of similar.
All right, so my last one that I wanted to talk about is Cretaceous Rails. This is right up my alley. This is a rail building game where you're building a railroad back in time. So you're actually going back in time. You have a resort. You can travel back, and you're taking people on dinosaur tours. Very cool. Very cool principle or theme, and also another really cool looking game. It's got a ton of different dinosaur minis that are really cool. And if you there's an expansion even that has like pterodactyls that like hover above the board on these little stems. It's very, very cool looking presentation.
Isn't it pronounced pterodactyls?
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. It's not.
It might be.
By the way,
the P is silent.
we actually have some content
We
up on
do.
the
Jeremy
channel.
Howard.
Jeremy Howard was able to get his hands on this and has a full preview. So if you want to know more about it in depth, you can take a look at that.
It's very cool. What really grabs me, not just like theme aside, is the action selection system. You have these workers and you have a grid of actions, and the grid is random. You randomize these actions in this grid, and then you get to place your worker in between two on one of the lines. So you're taking two different actions, but since it's random, if you have like a really sweet action that's like, oh, these two are really great in combination, you can't just take that same action every single round because things are going to be moving around.
Oh, it moves.
Like it's the grid shifts.
Oh.
Like you change around your tiles, so you can't ever just have the same exact two actions next to each other. And those actions, a lot of the things you're trying to do, you're trying to build these routes and then take your trams out on these routes and go by the most kind of dinosaurs possible so that people coming to visit your resort get to see all the different dinosaurs. And when it's all set up, it looks phenomenal. And they've got these volcano tiles. They've got these like 3D walls. Of course, the dino minis.
This one's doing pretty well, too.
Oh, right? It's doing phenomenal I think for all these reasons. People love dinosaur games. People love train games. This is a huge mix, and it's getting a lot of positive buzz. So it just launched, but it's doing very well in its first week.
Yeah, so those are the games that we've been looking at in crowdfunding. If you have any campaigns out there that you're following or that we've missed, let us know in the comments below. Or better yet, if you're watching this and you are going to launch a campaign sometime in the not too distant future,
let us know.
Reach out to us.
We've got
emails to email. We've got a Discord if you hadn't mentioned.
We've got emails to email.
We have a Discord that you can Discord and emails that you can email. Contact us somehow. Let us know about your campaign, and maybe we can feature it on a future crowd control.
We'd love to. We'd love to bring as many projects as we can. So thank you all for watching today.
Yeah, until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.